Right here I have the Sony ZV-1. I got this about 3 years ago, excited to start my YouTube channel, and recently the Mark II came out. So, is it worth the upgrade? The TLDR? Not really, especially not for me, as I am shooting on a brand new ZV-1, but I want to go into, should you upgrade, and if you want to buy in between the two, which one should you go with? Let's go ahead and get right into it. My name is Timothy Frost. If you are new to the channel, first thing we're going to go with is the similarities between the Mark I and the Mark II. They're going to have the same sensor, even though Sony really hasn't confirmed it, and it's also going to come with the same processor as well. They both shoot in 4K, 30 frames per second, and they can get 120 in HD, but you're not going to see any differences as far as any shooting options are concerned. They both come with a microphone and a speaker. The Mark II does have a little bit more of an advanced microphone, but we'll get into that a little bit later in the video. With the same processor, they also have the same autofocus, so you're not going to see any improvements. And as far as the ND filter is concerned, yes, you do get one extra stop of an ND on the Mark II, but what I'm hearing is that really doesn't change much with any outdoor lighting. They both have the auto defocus button on the top, and they also do both have the product showcase option. From what I saw on videos with the Mark II, the product showcase did seem to be a little bit better, as you could be a little bit more out of frame to see it defocus the background instead of it having to be pretty much dead center. I mean, I don't have product showcase on right now, but it would be able to kind of hone on in on the actual product, and the Mark II does seem to be a little bit better with that. So one of my favorite things with this camera is the tally light built in right up here. So if you do end up hitting that record button, I don't actually have a memory card in this, you're gonna see that tally light up, which is a big benefit, especially if you're shooting something and you didn't know wasn't actually shooting. That's really annoying. Not gonna have a problem with either the Mark I or the Mark II. They also both can be utilized as a webcam for your computer through USB. If it is just going to be through USB, it's only going to be a 720p resolution, unless you have a video capture card, and then you could be going through the micro HDMI. It's not a mini HDMI, it's a micro HDMI. It's not the best connector in the world, but at this price point, you're really not going to see anyone with a full HDMI. I also wanted to give you a little bit of an idea of how the microphone quality is on this camera and how the steady stabilization is. As you tell, I'm walking a little bit. You will see a little bit of a jitter, as you can also see how far my hand is away, but I would definitely recommend a better audio solution that is what is currently on the camera. Even though you do get better audio quality with the Mark II, you might hear some wind as well. I didn't put on the wind cusp on the top. It does come with it, but I forgot. But now let's go ahead and get in a steady shot. This is going to be a little bit better of an idea of how the active stabilization is going to work. It is cropped in a little bit, as you can tell, but it is kind of flaring out a little bit in the lights with the highlights. Again, I wish the ND filter was a little bit better. Battery life isn't amazing on either one of these cameras, so if you do want to get the best battery life, I would definitely recommend getting some extra batteries. Now let's go ahead and get into the differences. First thing is going to be price. The Mark I is currently on sale on Sony's website at $700, where the Mark II is up to $900. So that is a $200 difference. What are you getting with that extra money? One of the things that I am going to be a little disappointed on missing out on is going to be the touch screen in the back, and it has the new user interface for all Sony cameras. This is really annoying to work your way through. The menu, there are so many extra buttons you have to hit side to side, and with the extra touch screen, the difference with the lenses is probably one of the biggest things. The Sony Mark I has anywhere from a 24mm equivalent to a 70mm equivalent. The Mark II does have a wider lens, it's an 18mm equivalent, and it can go up to a 50mm equivalent. The biggest thing with the difference, especially with the zoom, is the aperture is going to be a lot wider at 4.0 on that 50mm, so it's going to be a little less defocus, so a little bit sharper in the background, and that's not something that people typically like within their camera. So even though you do get the wider lens base, you are going to get less of a zoom, and with that zoom, it's going to be less quality of a zoom. Talking about that as well, this does have image stabilization built in already, so without putting on any active stabilization, it already has some stabilization built in without cropping in. You do not get that on the Mark II. So that 18mm, if you are shooting right in front of your face and you're moving around a little bit, it's going to be jolting around, so it's not the best. So then you're going to have to put on that active stabilization, and when you put on the active stabilization, it gets gets to about a 22 millimeter equivalent, and that's all going to be digital stabilization as well, so it's not the best stabilization in the world. So even though it does come with a wider lens, if you are going to be on the go, it's not going to be best for you. I do a lot of talking head stuff, so the wider lens would be great for me, but for an extra $200 for that, just really wasn't worth it for me. Another thing you're going to get on the Mark II that you don't get on the Mark I is going to be a dual face detection, so it'll be able to detect another face in the background. The Mark II does also come with a cinematic vlog functionality that puts black bars on the top and the bottom. This is all stuff you can do in post-production, and it even adds a little bit of a tone to it as well. Again, all of it can be done in post-production, but it is something that maybe some of you guys would be interested in. You do not get that on the Mark I. Another plus you're going to get with the Mark II that you don't get on the Mark I, first thing is the mounting point. This mounting point is moved a lot over, so you would actually be able to open this up and get to your battery and get to your SD card without actually having to take it off its mounting point. Another thing, the USB. The USB is a micro USB on the Mark I, whereas a USB Type-C on the Mark II. The micro USB has not been the most consistent connector, as I can't get it to always stay connected all the time. It's very finicky, and I've been very frustrated with that. The USB-C is going to be a big improvement upon that. So when I first did get that Mark I did actually end up buying one of these vlogger style handles, and I have no idea where it is. I think I utilized it once or twice, and I literally never used it. I'd probably get a secondary one, probably look for a bunch of reviews. This is a little bit more expensive. Yes, it does have a record button, and I like the auto defocus on here as well. But at the end of the day, the extra money really isn't worth it, so I'd probably recommend, if you are looking for something different, there's a lot better ones that even extend a little bit farther out. So what are you thinking if you want to buy in between the Mark I and the Mark II? It is a $200 difference. What are you getting? You are getting that extra touchscreen that is very convenient, don't get me wrong. You get that USB Type-C on the side, which is going to be a lot easier to charge and a lot easier to transfer data. This mounting point will be moved over a little bit, so it's a lot easy to end up changing your batteries and your SD cards. And you do get that wider lens, but it does come with the caveat of not having built-in stabilization, so if you are going to be moving around, you will need to crop into that 22 millimeter, where this one is already 24 millimeter with some stabilization, and there's even extra stabilization with the active as well on this that does crop in a little bit more. So is it worth it? I don't think so. The extra $200 I think can be utilized towards a great microphone system. I currently picked up the DJI microphone system that I'm very excited. This is my first video doing it with that, but there's even the Rogue wireless microphone system, or even getting a good shotgun mic. Yes, the microphones on the cameras aren't that bad, and the Mark II's microphone is even a little bit better, but at the end of the day, you want the best audio quality, so a microphone is something you should invest in, and using that extra $200 to invest in a microphone can go a long way. If you are looking for that extra cinematic view with those cropped out bars, that's really up to you. But at the end of the day, the Mark I is a great option if you are just starting out. And if you are looking to get into lenses, there is the ZV-10 that does have the interchangeable lenses. That came out before I bought the Mark I, and if those two were out, I probably would have went with the 10. But now that I have the ZV-1 right in front of me, which I am really excited about, first video with that as well, I don't know if I would have made that upgrade if I would have had the 10. So I am glad I got the ZV-1. I am glad that I have it on my person always. It's really easy to slip into a pocket, but I just don't see the big upgrade with the Mark II, as you're not going to get any different shooting styles, any better video quality at all. And that's what I was thinking that was going to be coming with the Mark II, but you're just getting more convenience features. You're not getting any extra video features. Well, hopefully this video was helpful for you guys. If it was, please smash that like button. It feels really helpful. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you're one of the first ones to know when my newest video comes out. I am going to be doing a little video on my new ZV-1, which I'm very excited about, so that should be coming out within the next couple weeks. And I'll be linking some of the cameras down below. It's going to be an Amazon link. If you purchase through those links, a little bit of that purchase is going to help me grow grow my channel. But as always, stay happy, stay healthy, and above all, stay positive. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.